What if I revealed to you that there's a secret code running through your veins right at this moment that can predict with terrifying accuracy whether you'll be betrayed, achieve financial success, or find the true love of your life? Have you ever stopped to think that the secret to your personality might be literally pulsing in your heart with every beat? That each drop of your blood carries not just oxygen, but also the deep marks of your destiny, your most intimate fears, and your hidden talents? Carl Jung, the revolutionary Swiss psychologist, dedicated his life to unraveling the mysteries of the human psyche through universal archetypes. But what if I told you there's a shocking connection between your blood type and these ancestral patterns that shape who you really are? What you're about to discover will shatter everything you thought you knew about yourself. Millions of people around the world have experienced disturbing revelations upon discovering how their blood type reveals secrets about their soul that not even their closest family members know. Prepare yourself for a journey that could completely change how you see yourself, because once you understand what your blood is trying to tell you, there's no going back. 1. The hidden code in your blood. How Jung deciphered the mysteries of the soul. Deep within the corridors of human consciousness lies a truth so profound that it has remained hidden for centuries, waiting for the right mind to unlock its secrets. Carl Jung, the brilliant Swiss psychiatrist who revolutionized our understanding of the human psyche, spent decades exploring the deepest chambers of the soul. What he discovered changed everything we thought we knew about human nature and personality. Jung believed that beneath our conscious minds lies a vast ocean of shared human experiences, patterns and instincts that he called the collective unconscious. These ancient blueprints, known as archetypes, shape our behavior, dreams, and deepest motivations in ways we rarely understand. But what Jung could never have imagined was how these psychological patterns would one day be linked to something as fundamental as the blood flowing through our bodies. The connection between blood and personality isn't just mystical thinking or ancient superstition. Modern science has revealed that our blood carries far more information than we ever realized. Every red blood cell, every protein, every antigen tells a story about who we are and where we came from. Your blood type isn't just a medical classification. It's a genetic signature that has been passed down through countless generations, carrying with it the accumulated wisdom and characteristics of your ancestors. When we examine the 4 primary blood types through the lens of Jungian psychology, something remarkable emerges. Each type appears to correspond with distinct archetypal patterns that influence how we think, feel, and interact with the world. These aren't random coincidences or wishful thinking. They represent fundamental differences in how our brains are wired, how our bodies respond to stress, and how we naturally approach life's challenges. The discovery of blood types themselves tells a fascinating story. For thousands of years, physicians attempted blood transfusions with mixed and often deadly results, never understanding why some attempts succeeded while others failed catastrophically. It wasn't until the early 1900s that Karl Landsteiner identified the ABO blood group system, revolutionizing medicine and saving countless lives. But what Landsteiner couldn't have known was that he had also uncovered a key to understanding human personality itself. Each blood type emerged at different points in human evolution, shaped by the environmental pressures and survival challenges our ancestors faced. Type O, the oldest blood type, developed when our ancestors were hunter-gatherers, requiring quick reflexes, physical strength, and decisive action. Type A emerged as humans began forming agricultural communities, demanding cooperation, planning, and social harmony. Type B appeared among nomadic peoples who needed adaptability and independence to survive in changing environments. Finally, Type AB, the newest and rarest type, represents a unique fusion of these different survival strategies. These evolutionary pressures didn't just change our blood chemistry, they fundamentally altered our psychological makeup. The same genetic factors that determined our blood type also influenced the development of our nervous systems, hormone production, and brain structure. This means that your blood type carries within it not just medical information, but also psychological predispositions that have been refined over thousands of years of human experience. Jung's concept of archetypes provides the perfect framework for understanding these blood type personalities. Just as Jung identified universal patterns like the hero, the mother, the wise old man, and the shadow that appear across all cultures and time periods, we can see how each blood type embodies specific archetypal energies. These aren't limiting boxes or rigid categories, but rather natural tendencies and strengths that can help us understand ourselves and others more deeply. What makes this discovery so powerful is that it bridges the gap between ancient wisdom and modern science. Traditional cultures around the world have long believed in connections between physical traits and personality characteristics. Chinese medicine, Ayurveda, and countless indigenous healing traditions all recognize that our bodies and minds are intimately connected. Now, through the study of blood types and archetypal psychology, we're beginning to understand the scientific basis for these ancient insights. The implications of this knowledge extend far beyond personal curiosity. Understanding your blood type personality can help you make better decisions about your career, relationships, and life path. It can explain why certain situations drain your energy while others energize you. It can help you understand your natural strengths and potential blind spots. Most importantly, it can give you permission to be authentically yourself instead of trying to fit into someone else's idea of who you should be. As we embark on this journey of discovery together, remember that knowledge is power, but only when it's used with wisdom and compassion. Your blood type reveals important truths about your nature, but it doesn't define your destiny. You still have the power to choose how you express these archetypal energies in your life. The goal isn't to limit yourself, but to understand your natural gifts so you can use them more effectively to create the life you truly want to live. 2. Type A, the silent guardians of humanity. If you carry Type A blood in your veins, you are walking in the footsteps of humanity's first great builders and nurturers. Deep within your genetic code lies the blueprint of the archetypal caregiver, a pattern that emerged when our ancestors first learned to cultivate the earth and create stable communities. This ancient wisdom flows through you every single day, influencing how you think, feel, and connect with others in ways that might surprise you. The Type A personality embodies the essence of what Jung called the mother archetype. But this goes far beyond traditional gender roles. Whether you're male or female, young or old, this archetypal energy manifests as a deep, almost magnetic pull toward protecting, nurturing, and creating harmony in your environment. You probably find yourself naturally stepping into the role of peacekeeper in conflicts, even when nobody asked you to. This isn't weakness, it's one of your greatest strengths. Your nervous system is wired differently from other blood types. While others might thrive on high levels of stimulation and chaos, your body and mind function best in calm, predictable environments. This isn't because you're fragile or overly sensitive. Your ancestors survived by developing an incredibly sophisticated ability to detect subtle changes in their environment, to notice when something was slightly off in their carefully tended communities. This hyper-awareness is your superpower, though it can sometimes feel like a burden. In relationships, you approach love and friendship with a depth and commitment that others often find both comforting and slightly overwhelming. You don't do surface-level connections. When you care about someone, you care completely, sometimes to the point where you absorb their emotions as if they were your own. This emotional permeability is both your gift and your challenge. You have an almost supernatural ability to understand what others are feeling, but you must learn to protect your own emotional boundaries. Your perfectionist tendencies aren't character flaws, they're expressions of your archetypal nature as a builder. Your ancestors had to be meticulous in their planning and execution. A single mistake in crop rotation or food storage could mean the difference between survival and starvation for an entire community. This legacy lives on in your attention to detail, your need for organization, and your ability to see potential problems before they become crises. The way you handle stress reveals another facet of your archetypal nature. While other blood types might explode outwardly or seek adventure to blow off steam, you tend to turn inward. You process stress by creating order in your external environment, by planning and preparing for every possible scenario. This internal processing style sometimes makes others think you're holding back or being secretive, but you're actually doing the deep work of emotional and mental integration. Your relationship with authority and tradition is complex and deeply rooted in your archetypal programming. You have a natural respect for established systems and proven methods, not because you lack creativity or independence, but because you understand the value of stability and continuity. At the same time, when you do decide that change is necessary, you approach it thoughtfully and systematically, building new structures rather than simply tearing down old ones. In your career and creative life, you excel in roles that allow you to build, nurture, and improve systems or relationships. You might be drawn to healthcare, education, counseling, or any field where you can make a lasting positive impact on others' lives. Your work style is steady and consistent, rather than dramatic or flashy. You prefer to make progress through daily dedication, rather than sporadic bursts of intense activity. Your intuition operates differently from other blood types. While others might have sudden flashes of insight or gut feelings, your intuitive wisdom builds slowly and emerges through careful observation and patient reflection. You notice patterns that others miss because you're always paying attention to the subtle undercurrents of any situation. Trust this quiet inner knowing, even when others are pushing for quick decisions or dramatic actions. The shadow side of your archetypal nature can manifest as excessive worry, people-pleasing, or a tendency to suppress your own needs in favor of others. You might struggle with setting boundaries or speaking up for yourself when others are being demanding or unfair. Remember that true caregiving sometimes requires saying no, and that you can't pour from an empty cup. Learning to nurture yourself with the same dedication you show others is one of your most important life lessons. Your greatest contribution to the world lies in your ability to create spaces where others feel safe, understood, and valued. In a world that often feels chaotic and disconnected, you serve as an anchor point of stability and compassion. Your quiet strength and unwavering dedication to the well-being of others makes you one of humanity's most essential archetypes. You are the foundation upon which communities are built and relationships flourish. By the way, if you're curious to go even deeper and integrate your shadows and light, check out the SIM Method ebook. It's a concise guide that can help you unlock your inner power in just 5 minutes a day. The link is in the first pinned comment below. 3. Type B, the visionary rebels who transform the world. Within your Type B bloodstream flows the spirit of humanity's great explorers and innovators, the archetypal rebel energy that has pushed our species beyond every boundary and limitation. Your genetic heritage traces back to the nomadic peoples who refused to settle for the safety of permanent settlements, choosing instead the uncertain but exhilarating path of constant discovery and adaptation. This ancient wanderer's wisdom pulses through your veins, making you fundamentally different from those who seek security and predictability. Your mind operates like a sophisticated radar system, constantly scanning the horizon for new possibilities and alternative approaches. Where others see problems, You see opportunities for creative solutions. This isn't just optimism or positive thinking. It's a hardwired mental pattern that emerged from thousands of years of ancestors who survived by thinking outside conventional wisdom. When faced with obstacles that would stop others cold, your brain automatically begins generating innovative workarounds. The archetypal energy you carry is what Jung would recognize as the magician or transformer, but with a distinctly individualistic twist. You have an almost supernatural ability to see beyond current limitations and envision what could be possible if people were willing to think differently. This visionary capacity often puts you at odds with more conservative types who prefer tried-and-true methods. You might find yourself frustrated by what seems like their stubborn resistance to obviously better ways of doing things. Your nervous system thrives on variety and stimulation in ways that would overwhelm other blood types. Routine and predictability actually drain your energy rather than conserving it. You need intellectual challenges, new experiences, and the freedom to follow your curiosity wherever it leads. This isn't restlessness or inability to commit. It's your natural way of staying mentally and emotionally healthy. Your ancestors survived by being adaptable and resourceful, and you inherit this need for mental flexibility. In relationships, you bring an exciting but sometimes challenging energy. You love deeply and passionately, but you also need partners who understand your requirement for independence and personal growth. You're not trying to avoid commitment, you're trying to avoid stagnation. The people you're drawn to are usually fellow adventurers or those secure enough in themselves to appreciate your unique perspective without trying to change or control you. Your approach to problem solving is radically different from more methodical types. While others might prefer step-by-step procedures and careful planning, you excel at synthesizing information from multiple sources and making intuitive leaps that bypass conventional logic. This can make it difficult for others to follow your thought processes, but it often leads to breakthrough insights that would never emerge from linear thinking alone. The way you handle authority and social expectations reveals another facet of your rebellious nature. You don't automatically reject rules and traditions out of defiance, but you do insist on understanding the reasoning behind them. If something doesn't make logical sense to you, or seems to limit human potential unnecessarily, you'll push back or find creative ways around it. This can make you seem difficult to more conformist personalities, but it's actually your way of keeping systems honest and preventing stagnation. Your creative expression tends to be bold and unconventional. Whether in art, business, or personal style, you're not interested in copying what everyone else is doing. You want to create something that hasn't been seen before, to push boundaries and challenge assumptions. This drive for originality sometimes leads to failures and false starts, but it also results in innovations that can change entire fields or ways of thinking. Your learning style is highly individualized and often frustrates traditional educational systems. You need to understand not just what to do, but why it matters and how it connects to bigger patterns and possibilities. You learn best through experimentation, discussion, and hands-on exploration rather than passive absorption of information. Once something captures your genuine interest, you can master it with surprising speed and depth. The shadow side of your archetypal nature can manifest as impatience with others' limitations, difficulty with routine responsibilities, or a tendency to abandon projects before completion. You might struggle with what others perceive as inconsistency or unpredictability. Remember that your need for variety and challenge is legitimate, but it needs to be balanced with enough stability to turn your visions into reality. Your relationship with stress is unique among the blood types. While stress depletes others, moderate levels of challenge and uncertainty actually energize you. You perform best when you have multiple projects going simultaneously and when you're working toward goals that matter to you personally. However, You can burn out quickly when forced into rigid structures or when your autonomy is severely restricted. Your greatest gift to humanity is your ability to see beyond current limitations and inspire others to expand their thinking. You serve as a catalyst for growth and innovation, challenging complacency and opening up new possibilities that others might never have imagined. In a world that often gets stuck in outdated patterns and systems, you provide the visionary energy needed for true progress and transformation. 4. Type AB, the rare magicians of intuition and mystery. You are among the rarest souls walking this earth, carrying within your veins a unique fusion of humanity's most ancient and most evolved characteristics. Representing less than 5% of the global population, Type AB blood marks you as a living bridge between different worlds of human experience. Your very existence defies simple categorization, embodying what Jung would recognize as the archetypal sage or mystic, someone who naturally understands the hidden connections that others cannot see. Your psychological makeup is unlike any other blood type because you literally carry the genetic heritage of both the methodical, harmony-seeking Type A and the innovative, freedom-loving Type B. This isn't just a biological curiosity. It creates a unique form of consciousness that oscillates between different modes of being, sometimes within the same conversation or even the same thought process. You might find yourself simultaneously craving solitude and social connection, structure and spontaneity, tradition and revolution. This internal complexity gives you an almost supernatural ability to understand multiple perspectives on any issue. Where others see conflicts between opposing viewpoints, you naturally perceive how apparently contradictory ideas might both contain essential truths. This makes you an exceptional mediator, counselor, or advisor, but it can also leave you feeling isolated because few people understand how your mind actually works. You see nuances and subtleties that escape others, but explaining these insights can be like describing color to someone who has never seen. Your intuitive abilities are remarkably developed, operating through what seems like a direct connection to Jung's collective unconscious. You often know things without knowing how you know them, picking up on undercurrents and hidden meanings that others miss completely. This psychic sensitivity extends to people's motivations, unspoken emotions, and future possibilities. While this gift can be incredibly valuable, it can also be overwhelming, especially in crowded or emotionally charged environments. The way you process emotions is uniquely sophisticated. You experience feelings with the intensity of Type A, but with the detached awareness of Type B. This creates a kind of emotional wisdom that allows you to feel deeply while maintaining perspective. You can be passionate about causes and relationships while also understanding their temporary and changing nature. This emotional intelligence makes you a natural healer and guide for others, though you must be careful not to absorb everyone else's emotional baggage. Your approach to relationships reflects your archetypal nature as a bridge between different worlds. You need partners who can appreciate both your need for deep, intimate connection and your requirement for intellectual independence. You're drawn to people who are either similarly complex or secure enough to give you space to be authentically yourself. Surface-level relationships drain your energy, but meaningful connections can be profoundly nourishing and transformative. In your career and creative pursuits, you excel in roles that require synthesizing different types of knowledge or bringing together diverse groups of people. You might be naturally drawn to fields like psychology, philosophy, art therapy, or any profession that deals with human consciousness and potential. Your work style tends to be cyclical rather than linear, with periods of intense focus alternating with times of reflection and integration. Your learning process is highly individualized and often misunderstood by conventional educational systems. You need to understand not just facts and procedures, but the deeper meanings and connections between ideas. You learn best through exploration, experimentation, and dialogue with others who share your curiosity about life's mysteries. Once you grasp the underlying patterns in any subject, you can often teach it better than those who learned it through rote memorization. The paradoxical nature of your personality can sometimes create internal tension. You might find yourself pulled between your type A need for harmony and your type B need for independence. You want to please others, but also need to maintain your authenticity. You value tradition, but are drawn to innovation. Learning to navigate these internal contradictions without trying to resolve them completely is one of your key life challenges. Your relationship with spirituality and meaning tends to be more developed than other blood types. You naturally question surface appearances and seek deeper truths about existence. This might manifest as interest in psychology, philosophy, mysticism, or creative arts that explore the human condition. You're often drawn to practices that integrate mind, body, and spirit, recognizing intuitively that these aspects of human experience are fundamentally interconnected. Your greatest challenge lies in learning to trust your unique perspective, even when others don't understand it. Your insights and perceptions are valid, even if they can't be easily explained or proven. You serve an important role as a translator between different ways of being and thinking, helping others expand their awareness and understanding. In a world that often tries to force people into simple categories, you demonstrate the beauty and power of complexity and integration. Your gift to humanity is your ability to see the bigger picture and help others transcend limiting either-or thinking. You naturally understand that truth is often paradoxical and that the most profound insights emerge from embracing contradiction rather than trying to eliminate it. You are a living reminder that human consciousness is far more mysterious and magnificent than most people imagine. 5. Type O, the ancestral warriors in modern bodies. Deep within your Type O bloodstream flows the concentrated essence of humanity's most primal and powerful archetypal energy. You are the direct descendants of our earliest ancestors, carrying within your genetic code the raw survival instincts, fierce determination, and natural leadership abilities that allowed our species to survive and thrive in a hostile world. Every drop of your blood tells the story of hunters, warriors, and pioneers who faced down dangers that would paralyze others with fear. Your archetypal energy embodies what Jung identified as the hero and the warrior, but this goes far beyond physical courage or aggressive behavior. Your heroic nature manifests as a deep, unshakable drive to take action when others hesitate, to step forward when others step back, and to shoulder responsibility even when it's difficult or thankless. You don't seek out conflict, but when challenges arise, something ancient and powerful awakens within you. Your nervous system is built for decisive action under pressure. While other blood types might need time to process, analyze, or seek consensus, your mind and body are designed to assess situations quickly and respond immediately. This rapid response capability isn't impulsiveness. It's a sophisticated survival mechanism that has been refined over hundreds of thousands of years. Your ancestors couldn't afford to hesitate when faced with predators or life-threatening situations. The way you approach life reflects your warrior heritage in subtle but important ways. You have a natural tendency to think in terms of challenges to overcome rather than problems to avoid. Where others might see obstacles, you see opponents to defeat or mountains to climb. This mentality gives you tremendous resilience and determination, but it can also make it difficult for you to simply relax and enjoy peaceful moments without feeling like you should be accomplishing something. In relationships, you bring intensity and loyalty that can be both deeply attractive and occasionally overwhelming for more gentle types. When you care about someone, you care completely, and you'll move mountains to protect and provide for those you love. Your love language often involves actions rather than words. You show your affection by doing things for people rather than just talking about your feelings. You need partners who can appreciate your straightforward communication style and who won't try to change your fundamental nature. Your leadership abilities are instinctive rather than learned. You don't necessarily seek out leadership positions, but you find yourself naturally taking charge in crisis situations or when clear direction is needed. People tend to look to you for guidance and decision-making, not because you're trying to control them, but because they sense your competence and confidence. Your leadership style is typically direct and action-oriented rather than diplomatic or consensus-building. Your relationship with authority is complex and reflects your archetypal independence. You respect competent leadership and are willing to follow those who have earned your trust through demonstrated ability. However, you have little patience for authority that seems arbitrary, incompetent, or based solely on position rather than merit. You need to understand the reasoning behind rules and expectations, and you'll push back against anything that seems unreasonable or limiting without justification. Your work style is characterized by bursts of intense focus and activity rather than steady, consistent effort. When you're engaged with a project that matters to you, you can work with an energy and dedication that amazes others. However, you can quickly lose interest in tasks that seem meaningless or overly routine. You perform best in roles that offer variety, challenge, and the opportunity to see concrete results from your efforts. Your approach to problem-solving is refreshingly direct. While others might get bogged down in analysis or worry about potential complications, you tend to identify the core issue and take action to address it. This pragmatic approach often leads to faster results, but it can sometimes miss subtle nuances that more analytical types would catch. You excel in situations that require quick thinking and decisive action. The shadow side of your archetypal nature can manifest as impatience with others' slower decision-making processes, a tendency to bulldoze through obstacles without considering diplomatic alternatives, or difficulty relaxing when there are no immediate challenges to address. You might struggle with what others perceive as aggression or insensitivity when you're actually just being direct and honest about what needs to happen. Your relationship with stress is unique among the blood types. While stress depletes others, moderate levels of challenge and pressure actually energize you. You perform best when you have clear goals, worthy opponents, and the freedom to take action. However, you can burn out quickly when forced into passive or purely analytical roles that don't allow you to engage your natural drive and energy. Your physical health and vitality are typically robust, reflecting your genetic heritage of active, physically demanding lifestyles. You tend to have strong immune systems and good recovery abilities, but you need regular physical activity and challenges to maintain optimal health. Sedentary lifestyles can lead to restlessness, irritability, and various stress-related health issues. Your greatest contribution to the world lies in your ability to turn ideas into reality through decisive action and unwavering determination. When others are still debating what should be done, you're already doing it. You serve as the catalyst that transforms plans into achievements and dreams into concrete accomplishments. In the world that often gets paralyzed by overthinking and indecision, you provide the courage and energy needed to actually make things happen. 6. RH factor, the portal dimensional between two realities. The RH factor in your blood represents far more than a simple positive or negative designation. It's a fundamental split in human consciousness that creates two distinctly different ways of experiencing and interacting with reality. This mysterious protein, named after the rhesus monkey, where it was first discovered, holds the key to understanding why some people seem to operate on completely different frequencies from others, even when they share the same basic blood type. If you are Rh positive, you carry within your genetic code the markers of humanity's most common archetypal expression, what Jung might recognize as the everyman or citizen archetype. Your consciousness is naturally attuned to collective experiences, shared values, and communal ways of being. This doesn't make you ordinary or unremarkable. Instead, it connects you to the mainstream of human experience in ways that give you intuitive understanding of what most people need, want, and fear. Your Rh-positive nature creates a natural resonance with group consciousness and social harmony. You tend to feel most comfortable when you're part of something larger than yourself, whether that's a family, community, organization, or movement. This isn't dependency or lack of individuality. It's an archetypal attunement to the collective wisdom that has allowed human societies to flourish. You have an instinctive understanding of social dynamics and an ability to work within existing systems to create positive change. Your emotional processing system is designed to filter experiences through the lens of collective impact. When making decisions, you naturally consider how your choices will affect others and how they align with broader social values. This creates a built-in ethical compass that helps you navigate complex situations with wisdom and compassion. You're often the person others turn to when they need advice that balances personal desires with social responsibilities. If you are Rh negative, you embody what Jung would recognize as the outsider or hermit archetype, someone whose consciousness naturally operates outside mainstream patterns and assumptions. Representing only about 15% of the population, your Rh negative status marks you as fundamentally different from the majority in ways that go far beyond blood chemistry. Your nervous system is wired to question rather than accept, to seek individual truth rather than collective agreement. Your Rh negative nature creates a natural resistance to groupthink and social pressure. Where Rh positive individuals find comfort in consensus and shared beliefs, you find energy in independent thought and unique perspectives. This isn't rebelliousness for its own sake. It's an archetypal function that serves to keep human consciousness from becoming too rigid or conformist. You serve as a natural check and balance against collective blindness and mass delusion. Your intuitive abilities tend to be more highly developed than those of Rh-positive individuals, operating through what seems like direct access to information that bypasses normal sensory channels. You might frequently have experiences that others would label as psychic, prophetic, or supernatural. These abilities aren't mystical gifts. They're natural functions of a consciousness that operates with less filtering and social conditioning than the mainstream. The way you process emotions reveals another crucial difference between positive and negative Rh factors. Rh-positive individuals tend to experience emotions as shared, collective experiences that connect them to others. Rh-negative individuals experience emotions as intensely personal and individual, often feeling isolated by the depth and uniqueness of their emotional responses. This can create a sense of being fundamentally different from others, even when surrounded by people who care about you. Your relationship with authority and social institutions reflects your archetypal role as a questioner and truth seeker. Rh-positive individuals typically work within existing systems to create change, while Rh-negative individuals often feel compelled to challenge the systems themselves. This isn't automatic opposition, but rather a built-in need to understand the reasoning behind rules and structures before accepting them. The learning styles associated with different Rh factors are markedly different. Rh-positive individuals tend to learn best through collaboration, discussion, and building on shared knowledge. Rh-negative individuals often prefer independent study, original research, and drawing their own conclusions rather than accepting established interpretations. This can make traditional educational systems challenging for Rh-negative students who need to verify information for themselves. Your relationship with spirituality and meaning-making also varies significantly based on Rh factor. Rh-positive individuals are often drawn to established religious traditions and communal spiritual practices that connect them to larger communities of believers. Rh-negative individuals tend to develop highly personal spiritual philosophies that may draw from multiple traditions but ultimately reflect their individual journey and understanding. The health implications of Rh factor extend beyond pregnancy compatibility issues into fundamental differences in immune system function and stress response. Rh-negative individuals often have more sensitive immune systems and may be more susceptible to autoimmune conditions, but they also tend to have stronger resistance to certain infectious diseases. These differences reflect the distinct evolutionary pressures that shape these two types of consciousness. Understanding your Rh factor provides crucial insight into your natural way of being in the world and helps explain why certain approaches to life, relationships, and personal growth work better for you than others. Whether you're positive or negative, your Rh factor represents an essential archetypal function that contributes to the full spectrum of human consciousness and capability. Embracing your natural Rh expression allows you to operate from your strengths rather than fighting against your fundamental nature.